Can we launch the deck, please?
Mhm. One moment. Get everything set up. I will do that. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for showing up to the CCPU webinar. We're going to be starting here shortly.
Buenos días a todos, bienvenidos a este webinar y vamos a empezar en unos momentos.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. As we come here this morning, it's a beautiful day. I'm outside with a group of wonderful women that's joining our fight being providers. And I just want to recognize that we are here fighting together. And it's so beautiful to see our numbers rising. As we are here today, please introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us what your name is and where you're from. And we just want to acknowledge each other.
Muy bien dicho, Horace. Buenos días y bienvenidas a este webinar. Es un hermoso día afuera, tenemos sol y estamos preparándonos para este momento tan esperado. Y queremos saber de dónde están ustedes atendiendo el webinar, de qué ciudad, de qué condado. Por favor, ponerlos en el chat. Gracias.
Our participation are falling in. I see members here from Palmdale. I see individuals from, I can't slow it down. It's rolling. I have a group of providers here in Stanislaus and Modesto, California. Patricia, help me out here.
Ya, Los Ángeles, Sacramento, Modesto, San Diego, Santa Clara, San José, San Francisco,
Fresno.
San Luis Obispo.
My providers, listen, the names are flowing in so fast. The chats are coming in. Keep them coming. We just want to let you know that a lot of great information. I see Sonora, Santa Cruz. We're going to start here shortly. Riverside. We're going to be here in a bit to let everyone sign in. So just bear with us. But while we're waiting, please keep flooding in the chat where you're from and your full name and city and county.
Exactamente, Horace, de Palm Spring. Tenemos desde, espérenme, si realmente está yendo bastante rápido, de Anaheim, de LA, Central LA, South San Francisco, Monterrey. Oh, sigan poniendo, por favor, de dónde están ustedes atendiendo este webinar. Bakersfield. Oh, están de Fresno, Stockton, Sonoma, muchos lugares. Estás en mute, brother. San Francisco, San Diego.
Downey, Cypress. We've seen it coming. We love it. I see roughly about 700 people coming in. We got more showed up that registered. Thank you, every single one of you guys, for showing up on time. We're going to go ahead and get started here shortly. We're just going to give a few more minutes for everyone to log in. So while you're doing that, just everybody reach out and say hello in the chat.
Tenemos de Orange County, de Daly City. Sí, bienvenidas a todas. Sigan poniendo de dónde están atendiendo este webinar y pues bienvenidas. Vamos a comenzar dentro de un poco tiempo. de Salinas, Humboldt County, Lancaster, Contra Costa. De bastantes lugares, brother.
I believe we reached a nice time frame of where we're at. It's 10, actually 10:11 now. We're going to start this webinar here. And the way we're going to start it off right now is going to introduce Alex, who's going to go over the translation so everyone has full understanding of how we operate. Take it away, Alex.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. We can go ahead and skip to the next. At this moment, I want to introduce my fellow sister in arm, who's always active, very modest. We want to introduce Charlotte Neal.
Thank you, my brother. Welcome, everybody. My name is Charlotte Neal, child care provider out of Sacramento. I've been a child care provider for over 26 years, been in the union for 6 years. I'm a trustee for the retirement fund, and I'm also a negotiation team member. And I love what I do and the people that I fight with and the changes that we make. So, welcome. Next slide, please. Here's our QR code. Please scan to join. Again, you're going to hear me say this constantly, that together we are stronger. There is so much more we could do. In spite of what's going on, we can do it all. It was many people that said that we couldn't organize, that we couldn't get a contract, that, oh, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. But we have proved them wrong time and time again, because we are child care providers and we know what it takes because we do the work and we stand together. We support each other.
Charlotte, I'm so sorry. We had a little technical difficulties with the translation and going back. Can I have Alex come back on? We have a little bit of slight concern that in the chat, people couldn't hear what Alex said in the communication. So we can go real back, real quick for those 2 slides. Okay. I will go ahead and do the interpretation. I will go ahead and explain what we need to do. Okay? Okay, so here on the slide, at the bottom of the Zoom, you want to select the global screen for English, and you want to select for English if you're on a computer or a desktop. Please, next slide. Next slide, please. If you are on a mobile or iPad, there's a 3 dots that says more. You click on there, and that'll give you access to choose the interpretation, and make sure you choose Spanish or English or the language that's selected. And I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully that helps out. And we're going to go ahead and jump back in, Charlotte.
Do I need to
We'll
introduce
go.
myself for the providers that didn't hear?
Let's do that, please.
Yes, yes. Again, my name is Charlotte Neal. I'm a child care provider out of Sacramento County. I'm a 24-hour child care provider. I'm also a trustee for retirement and also our negotiation team member. Been with the union for 6 years. And so I love what I do. But can I say, when you hear me say union, after I say union, can you insert you and I? Because people think that a union is somebody else. But a union is everyday people like you and myself. Next slide, please. So it's a scan to join Child Care Providers United today. I can't say that enough. Together, we are stronger. We are a powerful union. We have been doing it over and over again when they say that it can't be done. We have proven them wrong. We have made history. Next slide, please. What is a union? Again, insert you and I, and what it means to me. A union is made up of providers coming together to win improvements in their profession and in our communities. With our union, we now have a seat at the table where we can provide our input, our suggestions on how to make the system work for providers, children, and families. Next slide, please. Who is CCPU? People like you and me. More than 40,000. Right. You know, we know how to pivot even when it's technical difficulties, right? So who is CCPU? More than 40,000 early educators in California joined together in our union, Child Care Providers United. We belong to both our respective local unions, SEIU, Local 521, SEIU, Local 99, and UDW and CCPU 3930. So we can make change locally and statewide. Next slide, please. Who is CCPU again? We're so much more. We act collectively to move to improve childcare quality, affordability, as well as pay and benefits of all early educators. We are committed to childcare for all from different backgrounds, speaking different languages in every county and all license type. Next slide, please. We are stronger together. So take a look at this image of the fish. What do you see? What comes to your mind when you see this? The small fish represent us, child care providers, you and I. Without a union, we are on our own. A single small fish having to sort through issues with the agencies and the state or other challenges that we will experience. But with all of us coming together in our union, we form something greater. We are united collectively, able to take action towards a common goal. We are stronger together. Next slide, please. What we have won so far, this is the good part. The brothers. Pay increases and a pathway to connecting reimbursements to providers' actual cost of care. Benefits to stabilize, provide healthcare reimbursement, dental and vision, retirement funds, and training and professional development. Improvements to the state's child care system. Payment by enrollment, not attendance. Fewer hours to qualify for full-time care and COVID protections. Amen, somebody. Next slide, please. Our future depends on all of us. I got to say that again because it's so important and it's critical. Our future depends on all of us. Together, we can ensure that dedicated providers like you and I have the same basic benefits. I don't want to be basic. We want the premium benefits and protections as essential workers because that's who we are. That's what we are, essential workers. We continue building our union, you and I, to make us stronger to secure what providers and families need. Next slide, please. So, scan this QR code. Sign up, my brothers and sisters, for the ones who are not yet a member of CCPU. We can do any and everything when we stand together, especially in today's climate, right? So we need all providers. And when I say all providers, yeah, you, all providers. We can make change happen no matter what comes. Next slide, please. Count on me to make our union stronger and more powerful. What can you do? And I know people say, well, you know, I got to work. Well, we all do the work. It's so critical. But can you join an action? Can you make phone calls? Can you do house meetings? You know, so sign up. Call other providers to share our updates and mobilize to action. Recruit new providers into our union. Host a meeting and invite other providers. Come on, providers. I know we could do it. We know how to fight when it doesn't look good. But when it looks good, we are so much bigger, better, and stronger. Next slide, please. Our vision for California's future. I'm going to say that again. Our vision for California's future, yours and mine. Every child in California has access to quality and affordable early care and education. Next slide, please. Join the Contract Action Team, CAT. Come on, this is your time. This is your time to shine. This is your time to get involved. The Contract Action Team, CAT, is a dedicated group of member leaders who are at the center of leveraging our collective power during negotiations. CAT members communicate regularly with other providers in their area about the progress of negotiations, JLMC work, when and if the state is dragging its feet at the bargaining table. The Contract Action Team will lead us into actions to demonstrate our unified strength as a union and put pressure on the state so that we can win what we deserve. Next slide, please. Stay in touch. Don't let this be the last time. At CCPU California, Facebook at CCPU, Instagram at childcareprovidersunited.org. Don't let this be the last time. Right now, it is currently 861 providers on this call. Make a friend, make a group. We are so much more. We are so much stronger than they think that we are. And we are continuing going to make history and change. Next slide. And can I say, I just love CCPU. I think we are an awesome group of people. Have a great day, everybody.
Charlotte, Neil, thank you very much for all that you do. And I just want to say, this is why we win. This is why we're here, because providers like you, I, Patricia, all of us who are listening here today, we won this fight. And it's not over. It's going to get better. But because we're consistently putting our fingers on the button, we got what we got. Patricia, you want to say a few words before we get started?
Claro que sí, Horace. Claro que sí, es cierto. Todo lo que todos somos hermanos,
gotta be on
hermanas
this.
en esto, somos proveedores que hemos luchado y hemos conseguido estos grandes beneficios. No ha sido fácil, pero sí lo hemos logrado y lo estamos logrando. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos unidos, porque estamos felices de haber obtenido esto y porque peleamos, estamos presentes en acciones y porque todo el momento que nos dicen no, nosotros decimos sí y sí se puede. We can do it, sí se puede. Vamos a hacerlo.
Thank you, Patricia. As we gonna go ahead, next slide, please. We wanted to talk about the agenda. Next slide, please, right there, the agenda. We want to talk about who we are. This is part of the agenda. We're going to talk about the new benefits. We're going to talk about the reimbursement benefits and the eligibility and enrollments. And then we're going to have Q&A at the end. So please, if you have friends that you don't see are on this webinar, reach out to them and tell them to jump on here because there's a lot of great information moving forth. And we're going to have a lot of time. Well, we want to have ample amount of time to answer some questions that you guys have. Next page, please. Here's where I have a blessing to be here with my sister, Patricia, and we're just going to give you a little bit about who we are. So good morning, everyone. As I said earlier, my name is Horst Turner. I've been an early educator provider for 15 plus years. I'm a member of UDW ASME 3930, and I'm proud to be a trustee of the CCPU Healthcare Fund, and I'm also the chair.
Buenos días a todas. Soy Patricia Morán. También soy educadora de primera infancia y cuidadora infantil. Llevo como más de 12 años en esto. Soy miembro del sindicato de SEIU local 521 y me orgullece ser trustee o fideicomisaria del Fondo de Atención Médica de CCPU. Forrest.
Always playing around with my volume. Thank you, Patricia. Listen, we are thrilled to welcome the webinar for the CCPU healthcare benefits. As a child care provider, as a trustee, we understand firsthand the challenges, the dedication involved in our profession. Today, we are excited to hear from you today about the great benefits that Healthcare Fund is offering here in 2025. We're also here to provide an overview of all the programs, how providers can enroll, and what the healthcare plan is for, and how it can be created and how it was pictured.
Como mencionó Charlotte, our hermana Charlotte, como proveedores de cuidado infantil obtuvimos estos beneficios a través de nuestro sindicato y en la negociación colectiva. El Fondo de Salud no es un regalo. Los proveedores se lo ganaron, no los ganamos. Nos llevó años de arduo trabajo en equipo y determinación de muchos de nosotros. Nos mantuvimos unidos como proveedores de cuidado infantil para asegurarnos de obtener el apoyo que merecemos. Estos beneficios demuestran lo increíble que podemos lograr cuando estamos unidos, cuando nos unimos.
Childcare providers deliver essential services and shapes minds of California's future. And it used to be a low paying with no benefits. We're on the path changing, moving forward, and we're going to get support and recognize that we deserve. The CCPU Healthcare Fund is a big step in that direction.
Sí, los beneficios que ofrece el Fondo de Salud, como reembolsos de atención médica, cobertura dental y de la vista, beneficios de salud para jubilados, están disponibles para ayudarnos a aliviar parte del estrés financiero que enfrentamos. No son solo beneficios adicionales, son esenciales para nuestro bienestar y para que podamos seguir brindando una excelente atención a nuestros hijos.
So right, Patricia. This is why we're proud of what we have accomplished together here. And we're excited to share more in the details about these benefits here today. We have a lot of information, but I want to make this point very clear. If you have not enrolled in the CCPU Healthcare Fund, we need to submit the application today. I can't say it again, but I will. If you have not enrolled in the CCPU Healthcare Fund, submit your application today. Patricia and I are glad to see such a growing crowd here today. And I'm glad that we're going to hand this off to Bobby Moore from Pinnacle Claims, our sister in arm, our partner with the CCPU Healthcare Fund. Bobby.
Thank you, Horace. So the next couple of slides really talks about how we got here and who we are. So as Charlotte and Patricia and Horace mentioned, CCPU Healthcare Fund is a group of individuals that represent the three unions, the Local 99, Local 521, and UDW. So this program works to reimburse you for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses, and it works with your healthcare plan. This plan is really, really there to help you cover all of those costs that you incur out of pocket, your prescriptions, your co-pays, your premiums. So there's a lot of opportunity here and a lot of benefits. Next slide. This is your board. This is the CCPU Healthcare Reimbursement Fund Board. And so you can see we've talked to Horace and Patricia today. We've got Jackie and Joe and Rico. These are very familiar pictures and names to all of you. I would encourage you to reach out to them if you have questions, concerns. This is your board. These are the people who are fighting for all of the benefits that we're going to talk about today. Next slide. So how are we funding all of this, all these benefits? This is because you guys went out there and you worked hard and you negotiated for $100 million. So we are taking that $100 million and we are providing benefits to those providers that are out there working with subsidized children. It's a really, really big deal, and it's a really important fund, and it's a lot of money. Next slide. Okay, let's get into what our benefits are. Horace and Patricia mentioned that we have current benefits and we have new benefits. So we're going to be going through a number of benefits today. Many of them are coming soon, and some of them have been expanded today, and some will be expanded in the future. So again, we're going to go slow. We're going to go through these benefits, but please ask us your questions, reach out to us, give a question and answer, and we'll do everything we can to get you guys the information that you desire so that you can enroll in this program. Next slide. All right. So the very first new benefit that the board is really excited to present to you guys today is a retirement healthcare reimbursement account. So this is for providers that after they retire will be able to get access to, very similar to what you guys can do today, to a debit card that has an amount of money on it that you can use for reimbursements. Okay, it's a one-time benefit, right? In order to get the benefit, you got to be applied for the position, apply for the program. So CCPU Healthcare Fund, you need to submit your application by March 31st. So in a very quick amount of time, 9 days, you need to have your applications in. And if you're approved for benefits in Q1 of this particular year of 2025, you will get a one-time allocation from the board to a retirement reimbursement fund account. It's a really big deal. Could be very helpful for a lot of providers who go into retirement and need that extra money to help cover their Medicare costs, their Medicare prescription costs, all the things that go along with healthcare expenses in the future. Next slide. So what do you got to do to be part of this particular benefit? As I said to you before, you got to submit your application in by March 31st. So we have to have your application in, and you've got to be approved for benefits in the first quarter of 2025. And the best thing about this is it costs you nothing. There is no cost to the providers. All you got to do is apply. It's a wonderful benefit. I highly encourage everyone to get your applications in so we can get you allocated a piece of this pie. It's a very big deal, and it's a great benefit. Next slide. So I'm just reinforcing what I just said to you. March 31st is the day. Please make sure you get that application in and make sure that your application is complete. And if you need help with that, reach out to CCPU Healthcare Fund, your union representative, your trustees. All of us can help you get that application in and help you along that path. And again, the final piece is you've got to be approved. So you have to meet the eligibility criteria for the program, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this particular deck. Next slide. Okay, so the next thing that's coming up, and this is a really, really big deal. The retirement was a big deal. This is even a bigger deal. So what the board has decided to do is to extend benefits to your families. So up until this point, we've only been able to cover providers in all of these programs that we have. And as of 4/1, so coming up here in 9 days, 10 days, the board is going to extend benefits to your family. So what does that mean? What does that really mean, right? So we have 3 tiers of benefits. So you have your provider only benefit. That's what we have today, right? And then we have a provider that might have one dependent. That dependent could be a spouse, or that dependent could be a regular dependent, a child, right? If it's the provider plus one person, whether that be a spouse or dependent, they would get an additional $200 to pay their premiums. So we pay in full the provider premiums today. So we'll pay an additional $200 for the family cost for the provider's family to be on benefits, right? And we increase the out-of-pocket that you can submit for to $18,900. That's a huge deal, huge deal. Additionally, the second tier is the provider plus family. So this is a provider that has more than one extra person in their family that they want to cover. And in that case, we're going to give them $400 towards the premium. And again, that $18,900 for out-of-pocket reimbursements. And as a reminder, those out-of-pocket reimbursements are co-pays, deductibles, prescriptions, that type of stuff. So $18,900 for your family to be able to get reimbursed for expenses they pay out of pocket. Excellent benefit. Highly encourage you guys to participate in this plan. Okay, next slide. What do you got to do to qualify? It's not really hard, but there is a couple steps that you've got to take. So here's the big deal, right? The big deal is you and your family, so the provider plus their family, need to be on the same healthcare plan. Now, we do have an exception for that, and that exception is for households that are split with Medicare and Medi-Cal, because sometimes just the way it has to be. So sometimes we have providers that are on Medicare and the rest of their family is on a covered California plan. That's a perfectly acceptable scenario for us. The same thing is true as we have people maybe on a covered California plan and their children are on a Medi-Cal plan. Those are all eligible for this program, and we encourage you to let us know who your dependents are so that we can get them into the plan. The last one on here is they've got to be in a qualified health plan for the program. We're going to get into the eligibility criteria for this program a little bit later in the deck, but you has to be a plan that we accept in this program. Next slide. Okay, so we need to know who your dependents are, because as if you remember, we only know who the providers are. We don't know who your family is. So we're going to need you to tell us who your family is. So there's going to be an addendum to the application. So for all those people that are currently in the program that want to extend it to their family, there'll be an addendum for you to tell us who your family is. And that'll be on the website next week. And we'll accept those forms for a long time. So no one needs to rush, but we do want to create a little bit of urgency around it because we want to get them covered as soon as possible. So that application addendum will be available next week on the website. We'll need to see that your family is on the same plan. So you're going to have to submit a proof of coverage, just like you've done previously, unless you've already done so. So if we already reimburse you for your provider-only coverage when you're on a family plan, we already know who your family is and you don't need to resubmit that. We'll need to verify Medi-Cal benefits. So if you're in a split family, like I mentioned before, so if you have your family, the provider and their spouse is on a covered California plan and their children are on a Medi-Cal plan, we just need to verify that in order to be able to add them to the plan. And then, as I mentioned, Cover California usually lists them all on their premium statement, so you can submit that, and that's perfect for a proof of coverage. Next slide. So again, we cannot stress this enough. This is at no cost to the provider. So these benefits are covered in full by the CCPU Healthcare Reimbursement Fund. And if you are in our medical plan already, you will automatically be enrolled in dental and vision. So I'm kind of segueing into dental and vision. So the board implemented provider-only coverage for dental and vision in July of last year. And if you were in the program, we automatically enrolled you in both of those products. That is happening today. As you come into the program, we enroll you automatically into the dental and vision programs. And the dental and vision programs are through MetLife. We do have MetLife on the call today. And if you have questions about those coverage, they'll be able to answer those questions for you in the Q&A and a little bit later in the program. There is no application and there's no action needed by the providers or their families currently to be able to get access to the dental and vision. It's automatic. Next slide. And this is important information on this slide. You cannot enroll in dental and vision on your own. It has to be through the reimbursement fund. So you have to enroll in the entire program, and a benefit of that program is the automatic enrollment into the dental and vision. MetLife is a really, really reputable organization. The board has gone out of their way to make sure that your benefits are very rich. So these are really, really good dental plans. Okay, these are really good vision plans. And so what happens is, based on where you're located in the state, we automatically assign you into an HMO or a PPO from a dental perspective. And so what happens is we'll tell you, and then you can go in and assign your dentist when we tell you what plan you're in. These plans, as I mentioned, are very rich, and the board has done a great job of really, really trying to minimize any out-of-pocket that you all will have to pay if you seek coverage through these services. Next slide, sorry. Okay, so I talked about this a little bit. It's a DHMO or the DPPO. You don't get a choice. We automatically assign you based on your zip code. And if for some reason you lose coverage in the healthcare fund, maybe you lose your subsidized child and you're no longer able to participate in this particular program, the dental and vision is something that you can take with you. So it is portable, and we would offer it to you via COBRA. So if you were to lose access to this particular program, you would still be able to access dental and vision via COBRA. Next slide. Vision. This is great. For those of you who haven't actually tried your vision plan benefits yet, you should, because it's a very rich plan as well, as we've mentioned. There's a lot of benefits to this program, too many to get into. So we've listed a couple of things on here. So the UV coating, the shatter resistant lenses, and then the copays for popular brands. Next slide. You can access your vision benefits through a lot of different retailers, and we've listed them on here, like Costco and Walmart and VisionWorks. So these benefits are accessible almost by just about any private practice provider. It's a very, very robust network. And so you can see here, you can look to see what your benefits are. Again, MetLife is on the call today. So if there's a specific question that you have, they can certainly answer that when we get to the Q&A section of this particular program. There's also, and it says it on here, there's also out-of-network benefits. So if you happen to go to a provider that's out of network, there is still benefits for this particular program. So this is another really good thing that the board is putting out there, which is we are going to extend benefits to your family for dental and vision as well. So that's coming soon. We are working through all of that now, but it'll be something that we will automatically enroll you in again. We'll have to get your dependents information if we don't already have it through the family coverage. And then once you come in, we'll automatically enroll you in the family coverage for both dental and vision. Again, I cannot stress to you enough how rich these benefits are and what a big deal this is to be able to extend this to your family. So coming soon. We don't have an effective date on that yet, but it'll be coming soon, and we'll let you know when that is. But dental and vision to your family is on the cusp. Next slide. Okay, here is a brand new benefit that we want to introduce. Some of you have heard about it, I think on the street or from other providers, but this is a brand new benefit that is effective 1/1 of 25. So this is group term life insurance. And this group term life insurance is being presented to us through Guardian. And you'll see Guardian/Legacy as panelists in this particular webinar. They too are here today, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you might have about this specific benefit, if you have specific questions. But let me just kind of give you the highlights of this benefit. Number one, no cost to you. So there is no cost to the providers to be in this and to have access to this benefit. Number two, it's automatic. We automatically give it to you. So if you're in this program, you automatically have it. You don't need to do anything to sign up, but you do need to designate who your beneficiary is, right? It's really important for you to tell us who you want us to give money to if you happen to unexpectedly pass away. So we do need to have a beneficiary designation form, but that's the only thing that you have to do to be able to be in this particular program. This benefit is $50,000. Doesn't matter how old you are. I think it's up to 75, and they'll correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it's $50,000, so it's a flat. So if you were to pass away, your beneficiary and family would get that $50,000. You can see here where we have the beneficiary form available. Please take a moment to go fill that out and send that in to us. We really want to have those forms. I think on the next slide is another place where you can find it on our website. Go ahead and there you go. There, it's coming up. So on our website, you can see this is where you can find it, and it's in that purple box right there. And you can email it to us, you can fax it to us, you can mail it to us, however you would prefer. Next slide. Sorry. So this is where we're just highlighting where it is. You can click through this. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing that we have, and it's very much tied to the basic life insurance. So in addition to basic life insurance, the board has decided to extend voluntary life insurance to all providers and their families. Okay. This is a benefit that'll be effective on 7/1. You'll get more information, and we'll have separate and distinct webinars about voluntary life. This is voluntary for the provider. So if you decide to sign up for this, this would be at your cost, right? We do have guaranteed issue amounts. So in here we have $200,000 is guaranteed for the providers, and guaranteed issued for the spouse is $50,000. Guaranteed issue for the children is $10,000. Now you can always buy up, but anything over guaranteed issue requires medical underwriting. So it's not an automatic. These 250,000 and 10,000 are automatic. So if you pay for it, you will get it. Okay, so there's a separate application on how you go through and obtain that benefit. And again, this will be available on 7/1. We will be having additional webinars. We'll be having additional communications that will go out to introduce you to this benefit and really kind of walk you through it. But this is the first kind of announcement that we're having this, and it will be effective on 7/1. Next slide. This is another really, really important program that we are excited to talk about. This is the Provider Assistance Program. If you're at a typical employer-employee relationship, you would normally hear this as an employee assistance program. This is really mental health benefits. And as you can see here, there's a lot of stuff that comes with this particular benefit. We are beginning this benefit on 7/1. This is, again, an automatic enrollment. The provider doesn't need to do anything. But we're going to have a little bit more information about this benefit as we get closer to that 7/1 date. There'll probably be additional communications, perhaps a webinar that will want to talk about this very specific. But you can see on on the left-hand side of this slide, therapy, coaching, wellness, exercise, work-life resources. This is a very robust benefit. And Spring Health is the one that is offering this benefit to us. They are on the call today again, and they'll be able to answer some questions that you might have. So think about what you might need or might have burning questions you might have, and they'll be able to answer those for you. So we're really excited to let you know that coming soon, you'll have a mental health benefit via Spring Health. Next slide. All right. So that's the deep breath. That is the benefits that are in play right now, and there's more that are coming. We're going to go into the actual benefits of the program. Like, what are you going to get? How does it work? So we're going to get to the nuts and bolts of the program. Next slide. Okay. So what it is it's a reimbursement plan. CCPU Healthcare Reimbursement Fund is a reimbursement plan. It is not a health plan. We do not provide health insurance, okay? We work with your medical plan. We don't work as your medical plan. It's really important to understand that, because as we get down into the details, it makes more sense, right? So we are not a medical plan. We are a reimbursement plan. Next slide. So let's talk about what the benefits are for this program. So we have many different qualified health plans that we accept into this program. And depending on what health plan you have, depends on the benefits that we assign to you. So I'm going to go through these relatively quickly. All this information is on our website. We'll have this deck available on the website so you can look at it again. So don't panic if you don't get all the information right up front. It's all available to you. And we want you to go out and look for it. Okay. So the first one is a silver level HMO plan. So this is typically offered through Cover California. And for provider only, the amounts on these slides and what we're talking about is provider only benefits. Again, family benefits don't become effective until 4/1. So what you're seeing here is really what's in play today, what the benefits are today. So in this particular case, for the reimbursement for a qualified health plan that's a silver level HMO, we will put in a WEX account. So this is in your debit card. So you can swipe your card for these benefits, $9,450 for your out-of-pocket expenses. So this is copays, deductibles, prescriptions, things like that. Okay. If you are unable to get a plan on the exchange, and typically that is, it's not typical, it's very unusual, but we do allow that. If you're on the silver HMO equivalent, the benefit is the same from a $9,450. But we do, excuse me, we do reimburse you up to $100 per month for your out of pocket for your premium. So what's different between that is when you're on an HMO plan through Cover California, we reimburse 100% of the provider only plan or provider only premium, excuse me. And a silver HMO equivalent plan, it's $100 per month. So it's just a little bit of difference there. For employer-sponsored group health, it's still at $9,450 and $100 for that provider-only coverage. And then for Medi-Cal, it's $200 per month for permissible expenses. Medi-Cal doesn't have a premium. They typically don't have an out-of-pocket. There's no out-of-pocket cost for Medi-Cal participants. And so the board was very wanted to make sure that there was a benefit for Medi-Cal participants. And so what they've given them is $200 a month for any out-of-pocket expenses that they might have that they can get at the pharmacy that doesn't require a prescription. Okay, so next slide. And we're going to continue on with the benefit, the QHPs that we have, qualified health plans that we have. So Medicare, Medicare Advantage, absolutely, we have many people on those. So the reimbursement for that is, again, $9,450 for out of pocket, $185 for Part B, and $100 for Part D. So again, we're trying to keep up with the trends in 2025. These are the most recent amounts that are being charged. So we updated our reimbursements for that. For Medi plans, you can see here, so that's a dual Medi-Cal and Medicare plans. Again, $9,450 for out-of-pocket, $100 per month. And then we also have Veterans Affairs, which also has the out-of-pocket of $9,450. Next slide. And this is the last slide on QHPs, on qualified health plans. So we also do TRICARE, all the various different TRICARE policies, and you can see here what our reimbursements are. Next slide. So now we're going to talk about, you can go to the next slide. Now we're going to talk about what's the eligibility criteria. How can you get into this program? What do you need to do to be able to participate? So there's 3 eligibility criteria. It's very simple. The first one is you have to be paid for working with a state subsidized child. And I think I saw something come in the Q&A or through the chat where someone said they wanted us to really reinforce that. This program is for providers that work with state subsidized children. And it's really important that we say that because it is the guiding principle for this particular program. The second thing is the provider has to be enrolled in one of those qualified health plans that I just went through. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of variety there. I think we've covered most plans that are out there that a provider could be in. So you have to be in one of those plans to be able to participate in this program. And the last thing is the easiest thing, which is just to complete an application. Okay, next slide. So we talked about paid for working with a subsidized child. So let's talk about what that really means in a little bit more detail. So you have to receive compensation from the state for a subsidized child, and it has to be a state-funded program. So this criteria hasn't changed for the totality of this program, but it's a really important piece of this. This is the bedrock and the pillar of this program, state subsidized child. Okay, next slide. So this particular grid illustrates the look back period for initial eligibility and continued eligibility. And this is the same look back period year over year. So it doesn't matter what year we're in, this is the same look back period. So for instance, if somebody's going to be applying for a 4/1 effective date, they have to have received 2 payments out of 6 months. So 2 of 6 months through July and December of last year. So if they have 2 payments in that 6-month period, they'd be eligible to enroll in this particular program as long as they had a qualified health plan. And so that's how you read this chart. Once you're in the program, once you've been approved and you're in the program and you have access to all of these benefits, you have to maintain your eligibility. And we do quarterly eligibility. And down below, you can see how we're going to do the look back period for the quarterly eligibility. So again, if we're looking at this, it's 1 of 3. So it's 1 payment in a 3-month period of time versus 2 in a 6-month period of time. So to maintain your eligibility, you have to receive 1 payment for working with a subsidized child over that 3-month period. And that 3-month period is denoted in this look back period. Okay. So for example, if you wanted to look back for October 1st to December 31st, the look back period is April 1st through June. So it's just a rolling look back period that rolls throughout the year. Okay. Next one. You got to be enrolled in a qualified health plan. We talked about that and we went through them. So here's a list of them again. So a silver HMO plan, Medicare, Medicare Advantage plan, employer sponsored plan. So if you have your spouse's plan and it's through their employer, perfect. We love it. You can come into this program. Medi-Cal or dual plan Medi-Medi or veterans or TRICARE. So we have a very robust and deep bench from a qualified health plan. Next slide. Providers that don't have health insurance, give us a call, send us a chat, send us an email. We want to help you. We can put you in touch with an insurance professional that can help you work through whatever plan is appropriate for you, because not every plan fits everyone. And so we want to make sure that we pair you up with someone who can help you in language find the best health plan for you so that you can come into this program. So if you need help, let us know. We're happy to help you with that. Next slide. So the number 3 thing that you have to do to be able to get into this program is you got to fill the application out. It's really just that simple. You fill the application out and you submit it to us, and you have to give us your proof of coverage documents. So that basically tells us what plan you have, what your premium is, and who's covered, right? We need to know that you're covered so that you can get into this program. Next slide. All right, we are at questions.
I want to take this opportunity and engage. So I want to thank everyone for listening. There's so many questions in the chat, so many questions in the Q&A section. And we're going to get to a few questions, especially with our benefits specialists that are here on this webinar with us. As busy as this process has been, we are here for you providers because we are providers. As Charlie mentioned, it's about us, you and I. So with that said, I also want to acknowledge your time and what we do on a consistent basis. So as our benefit funds are here, we have Claire here from Legacy. If you can wave your hand and introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, Claire with Legacy Group Benefits. We are offering the life insurance through Guardian Life.
And we have Tanya Miller, if you can come off of mute and show yourself, introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Horace. My name is Tanja Miller, and I'm an enrollment representative, and I'm really excited to be here to answer questions for you.
And Tanya's here for MetLife. And then we have Courtney. And before you introduce yourself, I want to put you on the spot. You're now become part of the family, and it come to my attention this morning that it is your birthday, and we haven't really had a time to come together as a family other than today. So welcome to the family, and the best day of busy days on your birthday to come to a webinar. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you so much, Horace. There's no other way I'd rather spend my birthday, to be completely honest. This has been very inspiring and so much fun to be a part of. I'm with Spring Health. We are here as your provider assistance program, offering free mental health therapy to you and your dependents and family members. And I'm joined with my colleague, Jackie Stevens, as well. So we're here to answer any questions that you have. Thanks so much.
Jackie, my apologies. Jackie Stevens, she is awesome as well. Thank you for your time. But before we start the Q&A, because we all want to get some of these questions answered, I'm going to go back, and I'm sure Patricia's going to get you guys too. If you're not enrolled in this benefit that's set up to put money back in your pocket, what are you waiting for? People come up and say, oh, I already have it. I don't need it. Everyone needs free money back into your pockets. So when everyone signed up, there was a lot of questions, and I'm going to touch base on that one. Let Patricia say a few words.
Ya, es muy importante. Es un beneficio que es único. No tienen que pagar taxes del dinero que se va a usar. Es totalmente free. Tiene muchos beneficios y no esperen. Enrollen. Por favor, enrólense. Es lo más importante que ustedes pueden hacer para ustedes y también para ayudar al Fondo de Salud para que lo sigamos teniendo. Es muy importante. Gracias, Horace.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. Do it. Once and make it into one. When you guys registered to this healthcare fund, there was a question of how do I enroll? What do I do? Who gets the benefit? And I hope going through the webinar when Bobby was explaining how it works, how it looks back, how you qualify was answered. But really understand this is if you're a provider, a home-based provider, that's why CCPU is here. We as a providers are here to make a difference for ourselves. With this fund, it's to understand that it's giving back to you in the healthcare version. And we built a beautiful family around that to provide care and coverage for you and your family now. I think we can actually say you and your family, but it's a time frame for everything we do. So first and foremost, we have Legacy/Guardian. That's the only fund for life insurance. Let me say that again. Legacy/Guardian. Those are the ones you can trust. Those names, not any others. There's other versions that are out there that are attached to your own local union, but this is CCPU Healthcare Fund that covers all of California because the three locals came together. So understand the healthcare fund is representing Guardian Legacy, is representing MetLife for your dental and vision, all of California through the healthcare plan. And now we have Spring Health that's part of the family that's offering these beautiful services. So when we talk about our benefits, we talk about those members in addition to what we built around with Pinnacle, who's running our show, who's our partner, who's doing a great job in making sure we're here to set forth. So just to sum it up, if you're a provider, this is for you. In order for you to capitalize on all these rich benefits, you have to sign up with the CCPU Healthcare Fund. You have to sign up with the CCPU Healthcare Fund. If you sign up, there's nothing else that you need to do in regards to your benefits except for one, and we'll get into that as we go. So,
I'd like to say,
Patricia,
ya, es muy importante que todas sabemos que todo se ha logrado por nuestra unión, por CCPU, por todas las acciones, por todo lo que hemos luchado año tras año. Y aquí estamos con tanto beneficio. Es nuestra unión y tenemos que sentirnos felices y orgullosas porque sí se puede. Lo hemos logrado y lo estamos logrando. Gracias, Horace.
all right, I'm going to ask you guys if you guys had, you guys as in Bobby, Claire, Jackie Stevens, you guys see anything in the chat that you want to particularly address?
I think, Horace, we need to talk a little bit more about subsidized children because there seems to be questions about that again, even though I mentioned it.
I was gonna
Yeah.
bring that up, but I wanted to see if there's anything first for the benefits. Seeing that we have a lot of questions regarding how do we qualify? Let me say this. We as childcare providers qualify because we care for our children, but because we are small and we're new, and this is where we need all of us to come together as one voice. We now have a seat at the table because of CCPU. So yes, you as a provider is actually active and can qualify, but you as a provider also have to be part of the team to make a difference. And the bigger difference we make, the bigger we are, the better opportunities that come. But as of right now, because the state has us with state money through the subsidy program. So if that subsidy plan is funded by a state regulated fund, you are qualified. If you have any questions, don't worry, just apply. We'll get all that approved because we as the healthcare fund and Bobby's team, we receive all the information from the state. But if there's an error, we have a process. So without getting into the weeds, if you're a childcare provider, just apply. And you know, if you're a childcare provider and have not joined the union, we need you. And you know, by you stepping on, we can offer way more benefit. Patricia?
Sí, es muy importante. Si no están enrolados, enrólense en el Fondo de Salud y si no son miembros de CCPU también, porque somos nosotros la unión. CCPU hemos conseguido todos estos beneficios y no me voy a cansar de decirlo nuevamente y muchas veces más de que es un esfuerzo que todos y todas hemos puesto y ahorita estamos empezando a ver los frutos, pero no es suficiente. Tenemos que seguir peleando para más, pero enrólense. Gracias.
Bobby, I know you answered this question in the webinar. We can't really give a direct time, but a lot of the questions came on the chat is, how can I get the family coverage for the MetLife? Or how can I get my family coverage for the healthcare?
Yeah.
I'll let you touch base on that.
Sure. So the family coverage for the healthcare I mentioned in when we were on that slide is that application amendment, it's like actually an addendum, will be available next week on the website. For those people that are in the program today, we will reach out to you and send it to you. So you don't need to come to us. For anybody that's new, you just need to attach it to your current application. Again, be available next week.
Okay, here's where I get to add a question. Tanya, this is a question for you. It's a question Bobby and I can answer, but we're going to go ahead and throw it in your lap. How can I apply for my claims for my dental?
So yeah, you can call 1-800-GET-MET-A to talk to a dental service specialist, and they can help you with that. And I'm trying to answer the questions as fast as I can. They're really coming in, which are great. So yeah, please call that number to find out. There were some while I had the phone. I wanted to ask about, someone said that they, I'm looking here, give me 1 second. So sorry.
While she's looking for that, I want to reiterate, we have a CCPU healthcare fund website. If you go to that website, all our benefits are there. They have the meeting information of what to do and a link to their website to apply and to ask questions. But since we have Tanya here, take it away.
Thank you. So the question that I saw is, I don't know the answer to this. Maybe you, Horace, or Connie can help me, or Jasmine or Clara. Can we change our dental from DHMO to PPO? And they're saying that, I guess the HMO, the choices are slim and they are not comfortable with.
We can address that. Bobby,
Okay.
would you like to?
Well, so to addressing is we purposely are assigning, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words here. We assign the HMO or PPO based on zip codes. If you're in a situation where you are struggling with finding providers that take the insurance, like you're trying to find an HMO provider, please contact us and we'll work with MetLife to figure out what we can do for you. If it turns out that there really isn't anything that we can do for you, that there aren't providers that are taking new patients, that they're within a mile, they're too far away from you, then we would go to the board and we would ask for an exception and to move you to the PPO plan. But it's something that we have to go through the process to be able to do. So we would need to talk to you about it.
Okay. And then there was another question about the MetLife DHMO. They didn't cover this member's medical. They had needed an extraction and they had to pay $1,000 out of pocket. And why didn't they help cover that at all? And the answer to that is that's a medical issue. If it was medically related, then that's not something that the dental plan would cover. The dental plan is there to cover you for things that are to help you prevent, infections and things like that. So if it was medically related, then I don't think, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong.
If I can jump in, Tanya, that's a great question and I love it. But because we receive only $100 million and we have all these providers across California, and this is why we need you guys to join the fight, is we need to get way more money. And at this current time, we're not happy as trustees, as providers on this call, on this Zoom, that are your trustees. But we did the best we can do to give all you providers out there action, support, but we can't cover everything. So the benefit was economic, that will touch every providers that apply, and we choose to get better and better and better, hence the new benefits that we're enrolling here today, this year. So just to move forward, just to understand, we're better when we're collective as a unit than we are individual.
And one more, there was someone, kind of a similar question about
Tanya, I'm gonna, because we've been so much on there, we want to have it a balance. So we're gonna push this off to another question was, what do I do to apply? This is just you, Claire. How can I apply to the group life?
Great question. So the application, there is nothing. We've had a lot of calls about this and wondering, when you apply for life insurance on an individual basis, I think people are more familiar with that. So with the group term life that is offered through the CCPU Healthcare Fund, you are automatically enrolled as long as you are receiving those healthcare reimbursements. So Bobby and, the Pinnacle team can speak more regarding that, but as long as you are enrolled in that program, they have auto-enrolled you in the group life insurance. So this has been backdated to 1/1. So everyone who's enrolled, you are good to go. I saw there's a lot of questions about purchasing and the voluntary for dependents. Also lots of questions about the beneficiary forms. So on CCPU's website, if you go there and look at or the CCPU Healthcare Fund website, if you look under about the program and the basic group term life insurance section, there is a downloadable beneficiary form. There's a couple areas on there that it looks like people have a lot of questions about. We're happy to assist and walk you through that. So our phone number is actually at the top there. You can call at any time, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And somebody can walk you through filling out that beneficiary form and help you get it into CCPU. Any other specific questions?
At this moment, we have a Q&A going crazy and we have the webinar chat. So we're just trying to decipher and really just pick out some of the ones that we want our panel to respond to. So thank you, Claire. We have a general question. This is going to go to Bobby, but I'll ask that. I already have insurance. Can I go apply for this one? Bobby, take it away.
Again, one of the first things we talk about is we are not an insurance plan. We are a reimbursement plan. So we're happy to talk to you about what plan you have to see if it qualifies for this particular program. If you don't have insurance, we're happy to put you together with an insurance professional that can help you decide what is the best insurance plan for you to be on to be able to participate in this program. But we are not a health insurance plan.
Apologize. Still going through a lot of questions, similar questions, talking about the reimbursement. Bobby, if you can give information on how the reimbursement happens when you talk about a provider that's on Medicare, what that looks like.
On Medicare, well, it's the same for everyone. The reimbursement is the same for everyone. For those of you who have the app, you can request a reimbursement via the app and submit your receipts right on the app. You can do it via snail mail. You can handwrite it out. You can submit your receipt and you can put it in the mail. You can fax it to us. You can email it to us. So reimbursements are just that. You need to give us the information and request it. And it's really whatever modality that you like the best, meaning if you prefer to do it via mail, we're happy to do it and process it. If you prefer to do it on the app, you can do it that way too. It's whatever the provider chooses to submit the expense.
Courtney, is a question for you and Jackie Stevens. When you talk about Spring Health and the option of getting mental health, could you give us an overview what that really means for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So within Spring Health's platform, we offer a very large range of mental health services. So it's anything from 24/7 crisis support all the way down to lower acuity needs like digital mental health exercises, coaching, therapy, you name it. And we can offer that with CCPU's benefit that goes live on 7/1. You'll have access to 6 free therapy sessions and 6 free coaching sessions, and that's extended to your household dependents as well. So once you're in the platform, there's a whole suite of services that we can help assist you with, very, very comprehensive support. And I'll quickly pause if Jackie wants to add anything else in.
Es muy importante. Sorry, Courtney.
No, thank you so much, Patricia. Jackie, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I just wanted to say how excited we are for this opportunity to include access to mental health care benefits. I did want to underscore the confidentiality that it completely stays between you and your therapist and your coach. Anything that is discussed in that setting is private. I really encourage everyone to seek care and get access to the support that they may need for them and their family members.
Thank you, Jackie. Yes, mental health support is so very important. It ties into your physical well-being as well. So we're really happy to be here and we can answer any other questions that you may have. I'll turn it back to you, Horace.
Thank you. Again, there's a lot of questions. Before you go, Patricia, I'm going to give it to you. I just want to make sure you guys understand if your question is not picked and brought up to the panel, please put it in there. Please put your phone number. We will reach back out to you guys to address any of the concerns. And that's our foremost important process, is to keep the program moving and answer your question where it's individualized and we can really make a difference and a change versus asking your personal questions over this webinar. Okay, Patricia.
Sí, estamos muy felices de poder responder las preguntas, todas las preguntas que podamos. Y estoy bien emocionada porque son muchas preguntas, muchas, y es muy lindo.
There's a question going back to Claire, your benefit for the life insurance is what happens, I have life insurance through the program and I lose a subsidy child. So it's a two-part question. I'm going to talk about the subsidy losing, and then if we leave childcare, what happens to the insurance? So I will talk about the subsidy and then I'll pass it back to you, Claire. As Bobby mentioned, we designed a very comprehensive plan that's going to work for providers. We know providers go up and down the roller coaster with subsidy children. Once you are approved, it's a 6 months look back to get approved. And once you're approved, it's a 3 months process look back, and you had to have one child. So let's say we look back and 3 months ago, I lost that child. In the last 3 months, I had no child. Guess what? You have a grace period, another 3 months to get a child, do whatever it takes to keep a child, because we're regulated through the state to offer this only to people who are subsidy-based providers. So if you have one child, then you keep your benefits. If you don't reach that 6 month period of having a child, you will be removed. But once you get that child, we want you to re-enroll and you get right back into it. Now, Claire, if you take it away about what happens if they leave and what happens to their insurance.
Yes, so I was going to address that. Lots of questions there. So as I mentioned earlier, you only receive this group life insurance while you are active. So Horace went over that grace period and whatnot. The group policy that CCPU is paying for is not something that's portable or that you own. It's a benefit provided to you. So typically you have these plans more so in the employee world. Obviously, the provider situation is different. When the voluntary comes this summer, that will be something you pay for, and you actually own that policy. So that will be portable and we'll be able to assist you in keeping that policy and plan if you were to leave the union or not have a qualified child in your care. And you can call our number for additional questions. There has been a lot of that, going around and understanding where the benefit goes.
Thank you, Claire. I'm getting a lot of general questions back about licensing, about questions about dental. How can I apply? We have set it out there with the phone number and the website, and we'll put it in the chat again, how to sign up. But if you understand, all these benefits are not something where you have to sign up individually. All these benefits are benefits because you are a provider that provides care, subsidy children, care to subsidy voucher program through the state, and you apply to CCPU healthcare fund, and you have a qualified healthcare plan, means you already have insurance. So you provide care, you have insurance, you apply in an application, you're approved. Those are the 4 ways that you receive all these enriched benefits. So please apply, bombard our website, bombard our call center. We want every single one of you guys. If you haven't enrolled, if you know providers that are around you, speak to them, tell them the rich benefits, because I, as a provider, I'm here with a group of 30 providers here, and I'm providing new information. These providers went to a course in my community in our Stanislaus, and they went from non-licensed to licensed members, and some of them are not enrolled, but they will be after today. So that's what we need everyone to do. Let's see, we got some more questions coming in. We got a lot of providers giving us information. Do we cover eye and dental insurance? Yes. Go ahead, Tanya. Why don't you go ahead and give us a real brief overview of what we cover, generally speaking, not getting into deep depth.
Yes, so for dental, of course, we cover extractions, teeth cleaning, exams. I believe it's twice a year. That's on the PPO plan and the DHMO plan. And I want to just share the differences between the plans when it comes to DHMO and PPO, because I'm seeing a lot of questions about not having a lot of providers for DHMO. Of course, we know PPO, you can go to any carrier, any provider of your choice. I prefer staying in network because you can save up to 35 to 50% on, those fees or services that are being offered. But the DHMO plan, as Bobby mentioned, you have to wait and you will receive a card and you will be assigned a DHMO carrier. So that's dental. Again, it's, the services, even dentures, crowns, cleanings, x-rays, exams, things like that are covered, extractions. I also want to mention, I see some comments or questions being asked about medical things that are happening. I saw one member said they had to pay $8,000 out of pocket, and I'm answering that question now. If it's not due to prevention or, upkeep or things like that, for that, we will not cover it. I'm so sorry. With the vision plan, we will cover, exams as well, frames, contact lenses, and things of that nature. If you happen to lose your glasses, there is a discount that we can save up to 25% for that. You do get a discount on LASIK and things of that nature. So I also have PARS, they're asking for a copy of all of the services that we cover. And so I'm sending them to the microsite. If you could say that out loud on where you can go. Is there another place they can go to get a copy of all of the services that are being offered on dental and vision?
It will be on our website.
Bobby, you want to?
It would be on our website, and then it would transfer you over to the microsite, to the MetLife microsite.
Okay, I have a serious question, and it's part of something that we have fought for, and we developed and had a running process of getting up to speed. Claire and her group with Guardian and Legacy, they had been effective as of January 1st of 2025. We do have a testimony in process, but I see there's another chat. Can I get the number to pass on to a provider who passed away? And that's the whole reason why we're here. God forbid something happens, but because we fought, this is a little bit of a help. Claire, if you can give a little quick, brief overview of what that looks like in case someone here is a provider, or how to get that provider who ran through a difficulty with their family members, or that family member to reach out for that provider who may not be with us.
Yes, Horace. So my understanding is if somebody has, a death claim that they would like to call in, you want to know that process? Okay. So what you would do is on, again, that CCPU website, so the ccpuhealth.org, the basic group term life insurance section, you can give us a call right there at the top, call the number, and, let us know the provider's information. So just name and license number if possible. What we will then do is we will contact the Pinnacle team, and then they will make sure that the provider, is covered in this policy, because again, the group policy is not something you own. It's provided by CCPU and you have to be active. So we already have had an instance of this, unfortunately, but we're grateful that this benefit was in place, that they weren't aware of it, and they are getting the benefit. We'll walk the dependent or whoever's calling through the claims process. It's a good time to highlight That's why the beneficiary form is very important. Still will pay the claim, of course, and make sure it gets to the right person if they're qualified. There's some legal avenues we have to go through to make sure it gets to the right person. So that's why it's very important for you providers to fill out the form and address where it goes. And if you have questions on filling that out, there's been a lot of questions about adding kids, people that aren't, people that are under 18. There's some different legal avenues and certain things you have to fill out. So you can call us. We're open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We do have Spanish speaking on staff. That's the time that's dedicated there. If you do have other questions and you call after hours, we'll give you a call back or set up an after hours time to help you with those forms. So beneficiary form, really important.
Thank you, Claire. Oh, go ahead.
That there were requests to have the beneficiary form also created in Spanish. So I'm very happy to say that we did work on that. We have sent it over to our team internally. So you will see the beneficiary form also in Spanish on our website soon.
I appreciate that.
Hey,
We do everything to have language justice. I appreciate that. There is one question, Bobby, but before I go into that, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I'm seeing and maybe this is the same thing. I'm seeing a lot of questions and I've answered these questions. I want to be really clear about CCPU healthcare funds. Life insurance carrier is Guardian. So if anybody else is calling you from any other company, first of all, Guardian's not calling you. Number one, Guardian's not calling you. We are not doing outreach to you. Okay. So if someone's calling you to solicit for life insurance and they say they're CCPU, it's not this fund. The only company that we're working with is Guardian for both basic life and voluntary life. So Guardian is the name that you need to know about. So anybody else contacts you, that's not this particular fund.
Thank you for clarifying that, and we are on the same page.
Excellent.
Bobby, yes, I want to really emphasize CCPU Healthcare Fund is coming to the table to make sure all our providers who are active members, and if you're not a member, you're a child care provider that provides subsidy to the child and have insurance, and you want to get money in your pocket and be part of these benefits, you need to apply now. If you are part of and want to become, you will have access to all these rich benefits. Spring Health is our mental. MetLife covers multiple things in their avenue, but what they cover for CCPU is dental and vision. Then we have Legacy, who's going to be the person in the team, Legacy Group Benefits. That's the team that's going to be receiving your calls, guided by Claire and her team to answer anything regarding life insurance term that we have offering, as well as anything regarding to voluntary that we're going to be releasing here in July. I apologize for my background noise because I am part of another group that's coming together, but this is, again, talking about what we do constantly all the time. But there's another question here. How do I submit my current employers, employees, my husband's employers information? Bobby, that's a question for you.
I'm sorry, I was multitasking to answer another question. Could you answer it again? Or could you ask it again?
We're all running busy trying to get these questions asked. One of the questions on the chat, as well as the Q&A, I have documents. I need to submit them. How can I submit my documents for my employers, my husband's employers information?
Sure. We take it just about any way you want to give it. We'll take it via email, fax, chat, snail mail, pigeon, donkey. Like, we don't care. We're going to take it any way you can give it to us. All that information, I think that Jen has been great. She's dropping the links to the website into the chat. So go to our website and you can submit all the information via the website. You can click on it and submit it via email. Again, fax, snail mail, pigeon, donkey. We're happy to have it any way you give it to us.
My brothers and sisters that are on this call, the chat is open, the Q&A is open. I want us to not get detailed into about your personal situations, but let's ask questions because you have the benefits in front of you, you have the trustees in front of you, and you have our time. We have 25 minutes left. I want to take it all if we have to. But if we're not going to go there and talk about general questions let me restate. when someone has a question, they don't ask. But if you don't ask it, then that other person who's listening, there may be 3 or 4 other persons that's listening that have the same question. So if you ask a question, more like, and we have 792 providers currently on the phone, on the Zoom, to ask questions. So please reach out, put your information on the chat. If we don't get to it, we will. If we have an opportunity to respond to a question, we're going to present it, highlight it right now.
Thing, Horace. So I'm receiving a ton of calls to our group benefits line right now. So great. I'm glad you guys are calling. Just a reminder, we have a full team of staff Monday through Friday, 8 to 8. I do leave my line open just for this group on the weekends. So leave a message and we'll give you a call back. Unfortunately, on the weekends, I can't force my team to be here 24/7, but we will get back to you as soon as possible.
And again, I want to remind everybody, you don't have to go to MetLife. You have to apply to this particular fund. We will automatically enroll you and we will automatically tell you where the beneficiary forms are. So you don't have to go to MetLife. Everything's available right here. Of course, MetLife is great and they're going to help you and they're going to call you back. So we are a united front, but I just want to remind everybody, you don't have to go there. We are in a one-stop shop on our website.
And Bobby, you may have answered this question earlier, but I'm getting a lot of questions about what zip code do I have to live in to get the PPO dental and vision coverage? I think you answered. You did.
Are they going to pick up
Is
and
there a
move?
place they can?
It is a very, as you can imagine, there are thousands of zip codes in the state of California. As good as I am, I'm not good enough to rattle them all off. So if somebody has a question or concern, please contact us directly and we're happy to look into that. And that's the response that I'm giving in the chat. If you have a need or you having a concern or there's an issue with the HMO plan that you have, give us a call and work with MetLife on what we can.
So we have popular on demand life insurance. How do I get that number to Legacy Group benefit? Claire, would you mind mentioning it off and give us your hours of operation?
Yep. So I'll throw it in the chat again, but it's 661-542-4477. And that's Monday through Friday, 8 to 8.
Wonderful. Patricia?
Okay. Let me. Ok. Lo que yo quiero decirles es que se enrolen en el fondo de salud. Es muy importante, son beneficios para nosotros. Ya sabemos que del dinero que se ha usado no se tiene que pagar taxes. Ustedes no tienen que preocuparse. No es dinero que es libre de impuestos. Enrólense, son muchos beneficios y si tienen un niño de subsidio, ustedes califican para todos estos beneficios y automáticamente ya van a estar enrolados a todos los beneficios. No tienen que volver a aplicar, no tienen que volver a enrolarse. Todos ya está todo automáticamente. Enrólense y sigamos adelante en busca de más victorias y más beneficios para todas las proveedoras. Gracias, Horace.
I think we have gone an hour and 40 minutes, and it's not enough time because this fund has so much. Every turn you look, there's an avenue. But the thing that you want to remember the most is you're a provider and you provide care to wonderful and rich children that are our future. We forget to take care of ourselves. And this is why we fought and won for all these benefits. And we have these wonderful benefits because we are providers. And we're not talking about retirement, but we have retirement. We're not talking about your training fund, but we have a training fund. We are today talking about the healthcare benefit. And today, as a trustee, the chairperson, alongside my sister, Patricia, who's the secretary, it's our passion to continue to fight and deny anything that doesn't speak in the lens of a provider. I don't care if it sounds good. If it's not going to benefit the provider, we are moving in that direction. So it's my honor to say, we're here for you. It's a lot of work. And the way you need to join is what Charlotte said earlier. Please join the fight. I want to keep this open for 5 more minutes. Reach out, text us through the webinar chat, through the Q&A. Some of the questions that you guys have in there, we haven't answered because it's more of a personal question and we don't want to blast it out there. So we will be reaching out to you guys with those personal questions in the chat. Just put down your name and phone number and give us healthcare or dental or life. What areas that you have a question if you want to talk about your personal situation. But this is the whole reason why we had this benefit webinar, is to let you know all these enriched benefits. And we have been driving Pinnacle wild because 7 benefits, when we're trying to get them like yesterday, it takes time to provide a service for all of California childcare providers. Let me say that again. All of childcare providers of California, we have a seat at the table. But in order to keep that seat, in order to keep this money, we need you to sign up for it, and we need you to be active in it. So 5 more minutes. Let's see who we can answer any other questions. And I want to remind you, your team that's supporting you, for those who didn't hear it or misunderstood, we have Pinnacle Claims, Bobby Moore. She is the VP of this process for us. Pinnacle is running our healthcare fund. And then we have the newest addition, Spring Health. So new, we just signed them up. We haven't finalized the contract, but they're here today, birthday and all, and they're here to help. But it's so new, you guys haven't had an opportunity to see information because it's coming, but it's gonna help us. And then we have Tanya, who's out here doing well because as of last year, July, we offered dental and vision. And she's here taking her time to answer any questions that you guys may put out there. And then we have Claire with Legacy Group Benefits, new to the team as well, but they've been active since January. Well, they've been active since before, but you providers have been active and didn't know that you guys have $50,000. And let me say, that was not an easy fight for us. But Patricia and I made sure it wasn't a $4,000. It wasn't $10,000. It was something that we can get. And believe me, we won 100. But legally, we didn't want you to pay taxes on it. So 50 was a limit. So you got 50,000 without doing anything addition for the group life insurance. But guess what? The voluntary that's coming, $200,000 guaranteed without medical. Let me tell you, those who are active, when that time comes, you need to be able, and we're going to be making sure you understand this. We want you to sign up ahead of time, and we'll let you guys know how we want that to happen because it's an enrollment period. The next enrollment period after July for people who are active in the fund won't come until the following year. So don't lose the benefit of getting reasonable, economical coverage for you and your family. And last but not least, here's the questions that we have. Let's see what we got. So term life insurance has been active since January 1st of 2025. What we're talking about is voluntary, means you as a provider has been set up an opportunity to have decent rates moving forward and a guaranteed of $200,000 without having any medical being brought to the table. Claire, would you like to touch base on that real brief?
Sorry, Horace, I was typing another question. What was that? What was the question you just asked?
We're continuing to multitask. I appreciate it.
I know.
There was a question. There was a question about when do we apply? It's April 1st for when we can apply for insurance. And I had advised the group that group life was active January 1st of 2025. And we like to say July. We'll be offering the voluntary, but please speak on what we mean by that, because I gave an overview.
Yep. So I'm seeing lots of questions kind of in that same scope. So again, As long as you're enrolled in the healthcare reimbursement fund, the team, the CCPU and Pinnacle team has already enrolled you in the life insurance. So you didn't know it, but you've actually had it if you've been enrolled all year since, January 1st. So all you guys need to do is fill out your beneficiary forms and just make sure you get that to the Pinnacle, the CCPU team. Information's on the website. And then I'm seeing a lot of questions about, death claims and things like that. So, go to the website to see additional information. And then if you have specific questions, our team is here to help. All the contact info, everything is on the CCPU Health website.
All right. I see there's a question on the chat about life insurance, and we'll see your number, and we'll reach back out there to give you some information. Bobby, I see a question here regarding her information about out-of-pocket expenses and not being able to pay. If you can give a just overview without getting too deep into the woods, because we're one more.
What was the question? How to submit a reimbursement?
Oh, sorry. Yes, how to submit a reimbursement and get the money back. So
Okay. Excuse me. So if you have an expense that you need to get reimbursed, you paid out of pocket for, you would need to submit it via the app or via an expense or a reimbursement expense claim form, right? And you can find those on our website. You can submit it via the app, or you can submit it via snail mail, email, fax, however you want to submit it to us, and we would get it, and we would put it in and get it processed. Now, the thing about an expense is it has to have the criteria. So we need to know what's the service, who's the service for. We need to know how much was paid for by your insurance, right? Because we only reimburse what is not covered by your insurance. And what I mean by that, it has to be a covered service, and they have to pay their part, and then we pay our part, right? So we have to have all that information on the expense form. And there's a cheat sheet on how to do that on our website, how to submit a claim, and it tells you all the little details that we need. There's like 4 pieces of information, and so there's a really kind of a how-to on our website. And I would encourage everyone to go out there and take a look at that and download it and have it in your back pocket, because it will help you submit your claims to us so you can get reimbursed quicker, faster, better.
And just to reiterate, Pinnacle's team will take any information any way we could get it to them. But if you guys realize, as busy as we are, you want to see where the status is. Get familiar with the dashboard, sign in, and become very familiar with how to make that work. I have one last question, and I see a lot of thank yous, a lot of appreciation, because I want to remind you, we don't get paid for this, me and Patricia. We do what we do because we love it. But at the end of the day, that fills my heart of why we continue to fight, because I am you, she is you, we are us, but we can't do it alone. So with that, I want to leave this open, the chat open for anyone that needs to document anything for the last 5 minutes to write down any other questions. We will make sure the Pinnacle team and the benefit teams get all your questions that we have moving forth. But I want to put this to adjourn this meeting and thank you guys for your time and your patience, and know that we're continuing to be enriching our benefits for you. Patricia?
Sí, exactamente. Estamos aquí con todo el corazón para todas las proveedoras, porque finalmente estamos recibiendo lo que siempre queríamos, nuestros beneficios y justicia para nosotras, que no teníamos nada, no teníamos absolutamente ningún beneficio. Ahora, con la lucha que hemos tenido y tenemos a CCPU, estamos logrando todos estos beneficios. Únanse y seguir adelante, adelante, porque nos falta mucho, mucho más. Y sí se puede y lo vamos a lograr. Gracias.
I want to acknowledge Spring Health, as I mentioned multiple times, and we as providers, probably you have kids running around. And we're going to continue to have everything on our website that you may need moving forth about our benefits. You shall receive text messages, emails, phone calls, and you have the phones and you don't have the numbers. There's a website. But Spring Health, I'm going to give you one last opportunity because it's your birthday. And Jackie Stevens, because you guys joined this wonderful team. We know you guys just joined and we really haven't put a whole bunch of information out, but give us a brief scenario what mental health process that you can help with.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Like I said, we're so grateful to be able to serve this community, this passionate and family community. Like Courtney mentioned, not only is it access to therapy and coaching for you and your family members. Coaching can be financial coaching, it can be physical well-being coaching. It can be career coaching, or, even child and parenting coaching. So there's a lot of great benefits within there. But Courtney had put it in the chat. We also, through Spring Health, get you all access to community resources. So if you need help accessing resources to help pay bills or get access to food or to provide childcare services for your own children, there's a lot of wonderful community resources available for you all on top of therapy and coaching for you and your family members. So we're just so grateful and so excited for the opportunity. It's a really robust and easy to use platform. So looking forward to it. Thank you all.
And the last thing I'll mention, Jackie said it perfectly. All of these services that we're mentioning are available in English and Spanish and actually over 100 different languages. You can access therapy in person. You can access it virtually in whatever language that makes you most comfortable. So we just want to put an emphasis on that. Care provided to you in the format that makes you feel best.
Thank you very much. And to take the words as Patricia said, and I'm not gonna end it without Patricia finalizing it. Si se puedes. We can do it. Go ahead, Patricia, take us away.
Sí, sí se puede y vamos a decirlo fuerte del fondo de nuestro corazón, porque sí se puede y lo hemos logrado y vamos a lograrlo. Sí se puede. We can do it. Sí.
When we fight, we win.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. We're gonna go ahead and end this webinar. It's very beneficial. I've seen the love. I see that we still have 645 providers still on the call. Just make sure 2 more minutes being left on the timer to put in your questions, put your phone number down for us to reach out to you. But make sure you go talk to your neighbors, not just one, but all of them that you know as a provider, whether licensed, unlicensed, not part of the union, part of the union. If they have not been part of the CCPU Healthcare Fund, they need to apply today. 1 minute left. Thank you, everyone.
Gracias y recuerden, sí se puede.
I see everyone adding their little time thank yous and a lot of phone numbers being added. This is Enrich. And I'm gonna do the countdown. 20 seconds. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. We're down to 10 seconds.
Gracias.
You guys enjoy the rest of the weekend, but please take the time to talk about the fun and what we do and come together for all of CCPU with all our locals that are collected like this. UDW 3930, SEIU 521, SIU 99. We make CCPU, and collectively we cover all the child cares in California. Love you guys. Bye-bye.